51, not with the question number 51, question number 71. What is the reason? There are 50 questions. I don't think we'll get the time to touch all the 50 questions. So what we are going to do, we'll start with 71 to 130 questions. If time is there are two passages. One passage related to the federal bank or the central banks. The other passage related to technology. We'll spend time on technology-related passage for a change. So please go to question number 71. Shall I read out? Now, these 5 questions, not easy, not difficult, but I would say they are easy from contextual awareness point of view. If you know the context, you are exposed to the language, you have an idea about how we use combinations, then you get it right. One reading, you don't need the second reading. If you don't have that awareness, a bit difficult. First, I'll read out the sentence, we will see the context, then we'll see the options. All but 2% of the country's farms, please underline the expression, all but 2% of the country's farms are smaller than 5 hectares. Almost all are smaller than 5 hectares, but 2%, but for 2%. And many, just a few fields making the agriculture sector highly. Now, it could be, the context is not very clear. You cannot decide whether it is positive or negative. Basha? On. You cannot decide based on the context. When you read the sentence, you cannot decide whether it is positive or negative. But common sense, generally, smaller than 5 hectares and just a few fields, they are profitable or not profitable? Small ones, usually. Profitable or not profitable? Not profitable. If you are aware of that, then you can easily get the right option. Now, we'll see the first pair. Many owning just a few fields, making the agriculture sector highly profitable. Profitable is a positive word. Here we have to select a negative word. So mark it wrong. Underline the word profitable, mark it wrong. Owning is right. Encompass is also right. Encompass just a few fields, making the agriculture sector highly productive. There is also a positive word. Mark it wrong. Comprise just a few fields, making the agriculture sector highly uncompetitive. So here it is a negative word. Hold that one. Possessing just a few fields, making the agriculture sector highly yielding. Yield is a positive word. It is both positive and negative. Please write to positive meaning, yield. Give something positive or give a positive result. Give a positive result, yield. Second, yield means surrender. That is a negative connotation. She has yielded to the pressure. Means what? She has surrendered to the pressure. Negative expression. But in this context, it is positive. Don't consider that one. Seizing. Can you use the word seizing here? Seizing just a few fields. Not correct. And lucrative. Please write the meaning of the word lucrative. Lucrative means profitable. And write the combination, it goes with business. Please write lucrative business. Means what? Profitable business. There's only one option which has a negative second word which is negative. Which one is that? No, imagine you are not aware of the context. Context is not clear. But based on the options, you have to consider profitable, productive, yielding. All are synonyms. Then obviously you cannot select one of them. At least based on that, you should tell yourself, it cannot be a positive word, it has to be a negative word. And there's only one option which is negative. Obviously, that is the answer. This is one way of looking at the question. But it is not that easy when you are under tremendous pressure. Shall I move on to the next one? For motorists, mobile phones have been both a blessing and a curse. Please underline those two words, blessing, curse. We also use expressions like, please make a note. Generally, in a debate, we ask, is it a boon or a bane? So what does it mean? A blessing or a curse, positive or negative? Blessing and a curse, and today the caused by drivers using their phones exceeds the number of lives saved by the ability to help quickly in an accident. The context is everyday context. What is the context about? Accidents, reasons for accidents, especially accidents related to motorists. So what does the context tell you? Accidents because of what? Because of the use of, are you guys listening? Mobile phones. Then the second dimension talks about calling for help. The two dimensions, one the cause, then the reaction, response, stimulus, response. Now, the first option, fatalities, important word, put a star mark, write the meaning. Fatalities here means what? Deaths. But generally we use it as an adjective. Please write one combination. Fatal accident means what? Causing death. That's a typical combination. Have you made a note of that combination? Now, fatalities caused by drivers using their phones exceeds the number of lives saved by the ability to summon. Please underline the word summon. Summon usually goes with, it's a legal term. Please write, summon goes with courts. Court, C-O-U-R-T, court. And write legal term. They have been summoned. They have received the summons. It is a noun as well as a verb. But another meaning of summon, to mobilize, to gather, to ask for. Please write the second meaning. To gather, to mobilize, to ask for. Now, what do you think? The first option seems right or wrong? I want you to respond. Seems right, hold that one. But you cannot decide just like that. You have to see the other options. The accident caused by, will you say accident or accidents? It's a general context. So please reject the second option based on the word accident. One word is enough to reject, eliminate. Casualties. Casualties, write the meaning. Deaths, usually. Not the typical death. Please write the meaning. Casualty means death, brackets, right? War or accident. In a war or in an accident, if there is a death, we call it casualty. Death related to wars and accidents. Not every death you cannot call a casualty. Hope you guys are listening carefully. Casualties perhaps you can. Appeal help. Is it grammatically correct? The ability to appeal for help. For is not there. So please mark it wrong based on the second word. Losses caused by drivers using their phones exceeds the number of lives saved by the ability to. Please write the meaning here, a request. Plea, a request. But we have to use the preposition for. Plea for help. Do you find the preposition for? Then mark it wrong. Damage caused by. Here he talks about the death. Can we use the word damage? So mark it wrong. Now what is the answer? Obviously the first option. What is it? Fatalities and summon help quickly in an accident. Shall I move on to the next one? 73. In recent years, please put a star mark this one. Now, generally what happens, someone was asking me how to answer these questions based on context. These are not that easy, let me tell you, for two reasons. Here, your grammar knowledge rarely comes to your rescue. You may be very good at English grammar, that doesn't help you when the context is unfamiliar. Second, questions like these are purely based on your exposure to the language, based on your extensive reading. You read a lot, you are exposed to the language, you are exposed to various combinations, And the moment you read a sentence, you understand the context, and something tells you these are the words to be used or this is the right combination. That is the only way you can decide. There is no other clue whatsoever. And especially this one, 73, why I said put a star mark, it is purely based on biology background, science background. Imagine you haven't read, you are an engineering graduate, I'm talking about biology background because please underline blood vessels and cells. Also underline the word dinosaur, fossils. Any biology student knows all these words at the fingertips. Now you're all engineering graduates. Imagine two situations. One situation, you have been reading science magazines like New Scientist, Scientific American, Popular Science, Discovery, National Geographic, Psychology Today, all these magazines, and on and off they write, especially Western media, they write quite often about the dinosaurs. You all know the interest generated based on the movies, Jurassic Park. People got interested. Now people want to know more about dinosaurs, extinct lizards, big lizards or reptiles. So if you read, you can relate, you can understand, you can answer the question. Now second situation, 90% of the candidates across the country, they don't read. Pathetic situation, what is unfortunate, a lot of candidates across the country are not aware that there are magazines like New Scientist, Scientific American, Popular Science, National Geographic, Discovery, Psychology Today, which are the sources for many bank exams, especially for closed test and para jumble, and also for some word pillars. 90% they are not aware of these magazines. In their lifetime, they may not see these magazines because they are not aware. And if they know also, they may not have access and interest to read those magazines. Then what happens? You cannot answer this question. Majority I'm talking about. See the difference. I'm trying to tell you the difference based on awareness. You are aware of something. It is not a question. It's a silly question. It doesn't take more than a few seconds. You are not aware of the context. You go upside down, you may not get it right, you may or you may not get it right. Do you understand what I say? So ultimately what matters, it is not your grammar knowledge, it is your knowledge base. To what extent your knowledge, you have some information. To what extent your knowledge is extensive. Based on that, you will be able to answer many questions. And remember my words, last 2 or 3 years, another 5 or 6 years, the papers are going to be based on your extensive reading habit, your exposure to the language, not based on isolated approach where you mug up a few words, a few combinations, a few grammar rules. Those days are completely gone. And in future, bank exams also, they're going to be more difficult. What is the reason? More and more candidates appear, and more intelligent candidates appear. Because today the private sector, unstable, unpredictable. I know some of the students, not this institute, another institute, where I worked earlier, employees of IBM, employees of Microsoft, employees of Infosys. Initially I would be shocked and I would be surprised. I would be taken aback. I would ask them, oh, you work for IBM, you work for Microsoft. How come you are in this institute? How come you are taking bank coaching? We don't expect usually. Microsoft, one of the top companies in the world, not in the country. IBM, once it was a #1. Usually today, I don't know how many of you are aware of the top 10 companies, the top 15 companies, Forbes magazine they publish. And for many years, IBM was in the first position. IBM is a company which introduced computers to the world on large scale, not small scale. Later, Microsoft, Apple, they came into the picture. But industry standards, people would talk about industry standards when it comes to information technology. Only one name would pop up, IBM. Then another company, GE, General Electric, #2. And one person by name Jack Welch, considered to be one of the top management gurus. He has written so many books. He takes classes on management related. So these people, they want to write bank exams. Why? Today it is uncertain, unpredictable. There is no guarantee. One fine morning they may give you a pink slip. Pink slip means what? They tell you, please pack up and leave. You may not get time to say goodbye to your colleagues. Very simple. Then what is a better option? Banks, you have 70,000 or 80,000, good enough, or 50,000 PO, am I right? Good enough to begin with, entry level, social status, job security, everything is positive. So many youngsters who work for the private sector, and TCS, I came across so many candidates, TCS, you know TCS, and Mahindra Tech, they want to write bank exams. So the better option. Now what happens? What is the impact of that? You should always understand why bank exams are becoming tougher and tougher, especially English point of view. For all these guys, English, they are good at English, mind you. If they give a paper, in the past, a passage, a story, a 7th class student would read and answer the questions. Imagine an employee who worked for IBM, or who works for IBM, sees a passage related to a school kid. Will he be able to answer or not? It becomes substandard. So now they have seen better brains are coming. Today I can say with a lot of confidence, the best brains are competing after civil services. The best brains are competing for the banking sector. When the best brains compete, the standards have to be very high. And keeping that in mind, slowly bank people, they have taken CAT exam as a role model. They have been, off late, they have been giving questions related to CAT exam. Same models, more or less, word usage, connectors, and para completion. Any question related to paragraphs from the CAT. Earlier banks, they would not touch paragraphs. You all must be knowing that. Now quite often they ask the first sentence, the middle sentence, or para completion, or odd man out. All these go with CAT. And of late you have seen questions related to word usage. One word and 4 sentences. In one of the sentences, the word has not been used correctly. You have to identify that particular sentence. Again, CAT model. Idioms. In the past, they would give one sentence, one idiom, find out the meaning based on the context. Very easy. Now, a recent model, 4 idioms, 4 meanings, you have to match. Again, that is CAT model. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say, try to focus more on reading. Read a lot, variety of topics. Then these become very easy. Now let us go to question number 73. In recent years, our blood vessels and cells have been found in dinosaur fossils, preserves. And researchers are trying to explain how these were for millions of years. I think some problems with the key. Please don't consider the key. Some problems are there. Now here, generally when it comes to fossils, what is the word you use? Forget about the options. Preserve, that is one word. And what are the other words here? Traces. Traces of blood vessels. We also use the word traces. Now let us start with the first pair. Knowledge of blood vessels and cells have been found. Can you find knowledge in something? Cells, not correct. Please mark it wrong based on the first word. Study of blood vessels and cells have been found in dinosaur. Is it right? Knowledge, study, more or less one and the same. Mark it wrong. I'm rejecting based on a particular word. A replica of blood vessels. A replica you could use, but not in the singular form. Generally, it should be in the plural form. But here it is singular. Then it is not correct. Mark it wrong. Traces. Traces singular or plural? Plural. Traces of blood vessels and cells have been found in dinosaur fossils, and researchers are trying to explain how these were preserved. Exact word. When we talk about fossils, we use the word preserve. Something has been preserved in the fossil. Now, this seems right, hold that one. Elements, perhaps right, but survived, how these were survived? They did not survive. That is not correct. Preserved. Survive means what? They are alive. Life is still there, but already dead. So what is the answer based on that? Traces and preserved. How many of you have got this one right? That's really appreciable. Out of 3, who has got all the 3 correct? This is the third one, am I right? Only this one you have got it right. Oh, that's really surprising. Now 74. Here you should understand the context is contrasting. Financial institutions have implemented strict rules, please underline, strict rules about knowing who their customers are and how they obtain their money, but the openness and willingness of money transfer companies to transfer funds makes it to launder money through these. Now, one is strict rules, that is positive. Here, launder money through these. Underline the word launder. Launder means what? Siphon off, exploit, divert, misuse. Write all those words. Siphon off. You all know the word siphon. What is the spelling? Who has, if I'm not wrong, siphon, OFF, off, means divert, take away. Also write misuse. Siphon off, misuse. Also write two words, embezzle. First you write the word embezzle. Then you write swindle. These two words, imagine you take organization's money and use personally. The company has 10 crores. You take about 2 crores and you take personally and unofficially, illegally. Then what is the word we use? We say someone has embezzled the company's money or someone has swindled the company's money. So remember these terms. And siphon off means divert. That is also an important expression. Launder. Launder means it's a negative word. So here the context is what? One is positive, the other is negative. With that awareness, you have to look at the options. What is the first one? Whenever financial institutions, perhaps this is right, but what is the second word? Makes it complicated to launder. No, it is the other way. So please mark this wrong based on the second word. Lately, perhaps right, makes it troublesome. Complicated, troublesome, more or less on the negative side. Mark it wrong based on the second option. Though, contrasting word. I said the context is a contrasting context. Though financial institutions have implemented strict rules on one hand, on the other hand, a willingness of money transfer companies to transfer funds makes it easy to launder money through these. Seems right? Hold that one. Finally, we cannot use in this context. Effortlessly perhaps, but you have to reject the fourth option based on the first word, finally. Wisely, not relevant in this context. Now what is the answer? Though, it expresses a contrast. And what is the opposite? Here strict, opposite easy. Easy or difficult, this one? This is based on, please write, first you write the word astronomy. Then you write the word astrology. Usually students get confused between these two words. Astronomy is the study of what? Cosmic bodies. Like galaxies, stars, asteroids, meteors, meteorites, all these cosmic bodies, astronomy. What is astrology? Prediction of future based on what? Astrology, prediction of future based on your horoscope. Based on the horoscope, they predict your future. That is called astrology. There is one more, palmistry, related word. What is palmistry? They see the lines in your palm, they predict your future. They tell your past. Do you know that? Fine. As comets Underline the word comets. What is a comet? What is the other word for that? We call it shooting star, I suppose. Shooting star. Am I right? Please write the expression shooting star. As comets approach the sun, the temperature begins to boil them away, producing spectacular dusty tails. They are also known as stars with tails, which are to the naked eye. Now, this question, purely based on your reading habit, one particular expression, underline naked eye. Those who read regularly, the moment they see naked eye, now imagine I have to read this. The moment I see naked eye, one word pops up. I think of one word, visible. Whenever you come across this expression, the combination word is visible to, something is visible to the naked eye. Take it for granted. Now, if I have to take the exam, I see the same question. I see the expression when I come to the end of the sentence, naked eye. Straight away, I will go to that word visible. Which option is that? The fifth option. Then I'll cross-check. What is the first blank? What is the word rising? The rising temperature. Perfect. Generally, we say the rising temperatures. Then I will not bother to look at other options. Contextually, grammatically, usage point of view, I can decide within a short span of 20 or 30 seconds. I repeat, 20 or 30 seconds, I can be damn sure, without any hesitation, not in the wildest dreams also, I know for damn sure the answer is the fifth option. There ends the matter. Now, I want the candidates, our students, to reach that stage. Do you understand what I say? How can you reach that stage? Again, read a lot, very simple. Now, answer is the fifth option. How many of you have got that one right? About 10 students, 10. One of the reasons, no exposure to the expression. What is the expression? Visible to the naked eye. Then you cannot decide. You have to think of various combinations. I think there's a problem here with the key. The key says the first option. Am I right? Please cross-check. What does the key say? 75. First option. Not at all correct. Not at all. Because first you underline the word blazing. We don't use this combination. We don't say blazing temperatures. When we talk about summer, generally blaze, please write the word blaze and write it goes with fire. What does it go with? Fire. Blaze. And temperatures, summer, we use the word, they have used one of the options, scorching. Summer we use, the temperatures rise and you experience a lot of heat. Then what do we say? Please write the combination, scorching heat. Scorching heat. Then sometimes grammar knowledge helps you. Now imagine blazing is right, assume it is right. What is the second word here? Perceived. Will you say, you should have the awareness, perceived to the naked eye, perceived by the naked eye. What is the right preposition? Perceived by. But what is the preposition here? Based on that, you cannot consider. Grammar knowledge also you can use sometimes. Now, scorching temperature, but it goes with summer, not with sun. Detected to. Again, what is the preposition? Detected? Are you guys listening? Detected to or detected by? Then it is not correct. When I say detected by, you should make a note. Then you remember. That will help you in the long run. Extreme temperature, perhaps it is right. Spectacular to the naked eye. That is not relevant in this context. Spectacular. Spectacular means what? Very beautiful, impact making, huge, enormous, awesome. What is the word? Spectacular. Visually, impact making. It goes with spectacular, something related to eyes, visual. Okay? Fine. Now, high temperature seen to the naked eye, seen by the naked eye. A rising temperature visible, perfect combination. So, what is the answer here? Now, I would like to ask the question, How many of you have got all the 5 correct? 4 correct? One student. 3 correct? A lot. That means at the national level, you're among average, a little above average. Always look at yourself from at the national level where you stand, not local level. At the national level, outstanding, exceptionally good, ready for selection. All the 5, effortlessly they will get. One reading, they will get 5 out of 5. These questions, no exaggeration. These candidates are good at English. Now 4, almost there, but because of reading habit, because of hastiness, they miss out 1. Wrong option they choose. 3, you're almost there, but some people are above you. Do you understand what I say? So that means what? You are very close to the target, but you never know whether you go that side or you come back this side. You're along the borderline. Do you understand what I say? So try to go to the next level, but very useful questions based on a reading habit, based on exposure to the knowledge or language. All these are again very easy. One reading you should get correct. What are these 5 questions? What are these related to? Spot the error. Am I right? Our phrase replacement, more or less related to grammar part. Things changing. At the outset, is it right or wrong? Please respond. Mark it wrong. Why is it wrong? If you use the word changing, it has to be a present continuous tense or a past continuous tense. Then you should use things are changing or things were changing. To be is missing. Then if you want to use it in past tense or present tense, it should be things change or things changed. So you cannot use, there's no pattern like things changing, right? Now we'll see the options. What is the first option? Thing changes. But here you have to read the sentence. Things changing, of course, sometimes dramatically, but in fairly predictable ways. It's a general statement. Any general statement, we don't use a noun in the singular form. We use a noun in the plural form. So based on that awareness, you cannot consider the first option. What is the reason? Please underline the word thing changes. You cannot use a singular noun. What is the second option? Things changes. Things plural. Can you add s or es to the verb? Mark it wrong based on changes. Things change. Plural noun. We haven't added s or es. The sentence is a general statement. It has been present tense. This seems right. Hold that one. Thing changing. Things changing, not correct. Thing changing also not correct. So what is the answer? Easy question. Things change. Hope I'm not going very fast. The pace is okay. Fine. Learning efforts can easily fall flat without institutional muscle behind them. This question also one reading. You don't have to read the complete sentence. Learning efforts can easily fall flat. Now here you should tell yourself, they are talking about how something falls flat. When you answer the question, how, what is the word you're going to get, which part of speech? How does he teach? How does she walk? How does he speak? Adverb. Then easy, adjective or adverb? Easy question. Adjective. What is adverb form? Easily. So where is the error? Easy is not correct. Which option says that? Can easily fall. I think they have not given the words properly in bold. But what is the answer here? Second option, learning efforts can easily fall flat. They shouldn't have given this in bold. But answer is what? The second option. I hope it's clear. Now 78. As employees look around their organizations for models of success, they encounter further reasons to being wary of generosity. To being wary, does it sound grammatically correct? Mark it wrong. Now generally, you have seen so many questions. To, after that, if you have to use a verb, it should be in which form? Bare infinitive. Only one word you have to say. Which one is that? Bare infinitive. What is bare infinitive? The basic form without to. Now, to is already there. Whatever you use after that, it is a bare infinitive. So, what is the helping verb here? To be. Already to is there, imagine. And error is with the second word. Then it should be what? Be. To be. And the word vary, you don't have to touch. Preposition, it is not in bold. Now, the second option, here to being is not correct, to being is not correct. To vary, then the verb is missing. To being, double O, not correct. Now, what is the answer? Obvious. To be wary of. Please write the meaning of the word wary. To be cautious, to be careful. Wary of, careful, cautious. How many of you have got this one right? Please raise your hands, almost all. Wonderful. Very good. The oil industry hold relatively few surprises per strategist. Now again, contextual awareness, when you read a sentence in the exam, quickly, your first priority, look for the time phrase. The moment you don't see the time phrase, become alert, ask yourself, what is this sentence? Is it about, does it talk about past? Does it talk about present? Does it talk about future? Is it a statement? You should get the answer immediately. So what is this sentence about? A statement about the oil industry. Any statement, which tense do we use? Present tense. Then the verb should be in present form. The oil industry hold relatively. Present tense, what is the subject here? Please underline industry. Industry is third person singular. Then what is the rule that goes with affirmative form? We should add S or ES to the verb. So this is not correct. Held relativity, is it right? No. Relativity, no verb then. Holds relatively few surprises. Seems right, hold that one. Holding, not correct. So what is the answer? How long should it take a question like this? A few seconds. Maximum 15 seconds, not more than that. 80. Organizations have a strong interest in fostering giving behavior. Now, this is a bit difficult. You may ask why. When you read, you may get a feeling the sentence is right. That means you have to respect the fifth option. What is the fifth option? No correction. But it is not that easy to go for the fifth option. For that, you got to be very confident. You got to be damn sure about your grammar knowledge. Only then you can go for the fifth option. In that situation, it's always better to cross-check based on the subject, the verb, the object, the tense, the phrases, and the clauses. Now, what is the subject here? Please underline. Organizations have. I have a car. I have a bike. I have a house. Which tense is that? Present tense. So, organizations plural, have plural verb, no error. Then ask the question, organizations have what? Answer, a strong interest, a strong desire, a strong passion, a strong feeling. Seems right? Underline this as one unit, a strong interest. In what? Again you ask the question, interest in something, in what? In fostering. Fostering means what? Promoting. Foster, develop, promote. Fostering what? Giving behavior. So, do you find any error? Now, who has thought fifth option is the answer? That's very good. What is the answer? No correction required. But these you have to read twice. Don't be hasty. First you read, your gut feeling says sentence is right. Then take the subject, the verb, the object, the phrases, cross-check, then go ahead. No error. Who has got all the 5 correct here? A lot of students, very good. I appreciate that. This we have done already, some of the students, you may say, sir, we have done already. What is this about? It is about online shopping. The framework, he starts with men, then he goes to women, then again he goes to men, 3 sentences. Impact of their interest, both the genders, he talks about the impact on business, products going online, then he talks about one more idea, and finally he talks about sharing that information. an enjoyable experience. Now we'll take the elimination approach because I see a lot of new students. Please respond. Can you consider A, the first sentence? On what basis? Underline the word however. Can you consider B as the first sentence? On what basis? Even more. Add-on information cannot be the first sentence. Then you go to C. This participation, can it be the first sentence? What is the reason? Demonstrative adjective. What is the noun here? Participation. This participation, demonstrative adjective, cannot be the first sentence. Can you consider D? Why? You have to tell the reason. These brands, again demonstrative adjective, cannot be the first sentence. As a result, it talks about the result, the impact cannot be the first sentence. Underline the phrase, as a result. Now you are left with only one. Which one is that? F. The early days of online shopping. Now the context is about what? Please underline online shopping. The early days of online shopping were actually quite male-oriented, as the selection of products was limited to software gadgets only. Generally, writers, one of the styles, they make a statement, they try to substantiate one style. Another style, substantiate means give evidence. Another style, they make a statement, they try to present a contrasting idea. They use words like however quite often, but, however. Now, here 2 and 3 are a little tricky. Actual passage, it is a second, let me see, what is the second sentence about men? B is the second sentence. I cross-checked the passage taken from some newspaper, magazine, some magazine about future trends. But they have rewritten, they have modified, they have used words like even more enthusiastic, and they have added here what is the clue for you. Product and price comparison. Ability to do this without having to visit physical stores is particularly attractive to men. Became available. Now this one word, this particular idea, because of this it has gone to the third position. But in the actual passage this idea, it was not there. And they talked about something else. Now whatever it is, here the typical model, men, after that you write about women, and a contrasting idea. Based on that, what is the second sentence? F is the first sentence. Where do you see however? Are you guys listening? So what is the second sentence? However, as the variety of online goods expanded to food, apparel, home goods and toys, comma, females too took to online shopping. This is the second sentence. Now what is the third sentence? Then he talks about higher level, price comparison, product and price comparison. Available, initially they were not available. You all know that, how online shopping evolved. Initially only the product was available. Now so many options are there. You can compare, contrast, you can evaluate, you can cross-check, you can visit a few blog sites and they give the features, which one is good, which one is not good, on what basis. So many options are available. This is a modern trend. Initially these options were not there. It was only shopping online. And now shopping online, intelligent shopping online. Do you understand? Do you see the difference? So based on that, what is the third sentence? Men became even more enthusiastic, that is another clue, about e-commerce when tools for product and price comparison became available. This is the third sentence. So 3 sentences related to what? The basic idea of online shopping, men, women. Now the writer talks about impact of this. So what is the fourth sentence? C is the fourth sentence. This participation from both genders ensured that most of the brands move online. What is impact? Because both the genders started participating, many brands, they went online. So what is the fourth sentence? C is the fourth sentence. What is the next one? Once these brands made the shift, he talks about moving online, that is a shift. Once these brands made the shift, The arrival of social media tools combined with better visuals made the online shopping environment even more enticing. What is the number, that one? Fifth one. What is the clue for you here? More enticing. Please underline that. And what is the last sentence? What do you have? E is the last sentence. What is it? Repeat word. What is the repeat word here? As a result of such an enticing environment, buyers can now share more of the online shopping experience and decision making with friends and family. Who has got this right? Forget about 2 and 3. Don't consider 2 and 3. Without 2 and 3, correct order, how many of you have got? And with 2 and 3, the way I said, how many of you have got? So 2 and 3 went wrong for some students. Otherwise, you got the correct order. Based on what, you may ask? Last time also some students looked at me with a puzzled face. So it should be men related, then women. But not, you cannot do that. What is the reason? It talks about a later development. You should always look at the historical growth of online shopping. Online shopping today, Indians know online shopping. But initially, online shopping started where? In the US. What is the reason? Americans, for them, time is money. There's a popular saying in the US. What is it? Time is money. They don't waste time. They count in seconds, in minutes. So that is the reason why, based on this concept, they resorted to teleworkers. Today in the US, you have a lot of teleworkers. You know the word teleworkers? And also they came up with the concept of work from home. Teleworkers, they don't go to the actual workplace. And work from home, they work for an organization, but they don't visit the organization. They stay back at home, they give the work, and they get the salaries, because they can save a lot of time. Then fast food, why it is so popular in the West? Fast food is nothing but, while traveling, while moving, while working, they can have a quick bite, some food. Then they can save a lot of time. Because of that, because they can save a lot of time, fast food became very popular in those countries. Now, online shopping initially, they experienced just buying. After that, so many factors came into picture, so many products, so many options, and so many offers. Today, it's a very complex thing, online shopping. And sometimes you cannot decide which product to buy, which product not to buy. I hope you are listening carefully. So many options are there, so much analysis is there, so many offers are there. So obviously the tools, intelligent tools, they came into the picture at a later stage. Based on that, you have to decide, B is the third sentence, not the second sentence. That's a bit difficult. Otherwise, an easy para-jumble. Shall I move on to the next one? What are these questions about? Spot the error. 86. The present and singly center. Singly center, have you heard of that expression any time? What is the answer? Single center. Please correct it. The present and single center thus far is overloaded with detainees. Detain, hold someone, usually in the jail or in the prison, detain, or in some office sometimes, legal office. Write one sentence, they have been detained. Hold back, one more meaning, hold back, hold someone, detain. Here what is the context? Illegal immigrants. They will always be detained, obviously. Easy question or difficult question? 87, the commission has rejected the appeal of the doctor who was asked to pay money as compensation for forgetting a napkin-sized mop inside a patient's stomach on a surgery. Now this you have to read the complete sentence. At the fag end of the sentence you have an error. Is it on a surgery or in a surgery? In a surgery. Please correct it. And what is this question related to? Preposition. Shall I move on to the next one? In an incident that is sure to send shivers down everyone's spine. Please underline that expression. Send shivers down everyone's spine. When you have a lot of fear, you fear something, we use this expression. The hill went up in flames, thanking to the dry residue of trees and plants piled up in the aftermath of the cyclone. Where is the error? The third part, we don't say thanking to the, thanks to. Please correct it. Here, thanks to means what? Because of. Please write the meaning. Thanks to something or someone. What does it mean in this context? Because of someone or something. Because of. Because of what? The dry residue of trees and plants. That is the context. Two people are suspected of having contracted Ebola after coming into contact. Please underline, after coming into contact. Also underline having contracted. Contracted, focus on contracted. So having contracted Ebola after coming into contact with a 2-year-old girl who died of the disease last week. Now, two words may bother you here. One is contracted, having contracted. Having contracted, it is a non-finite verb. It is called perfect participle. Having, ing is there, means participle. And contracted, verb in past participle. Remember non-finite verbs. There are 3 types of non-finite verbs. One is infinitive, second is participle, third is gerund. Infinitive, 3 types non-finite. One is bare infinitive without to, second is present infinitive with to, third is perfect infinitive. To have plus verb, past participle. Then participle, again 3 types. Present participle, verb plus ing, past participle, you all know that, and perfect participle. Having contracted is what? Perfect participle. And what is gerund? Gerund is nothing but the noun form of a verb. Swimming is the best exercise. What is swimming here? It is a noun, but it is a ing form of a verb. Then we call it gerund. So that you should recollect, having contracted. But why I said this may trouble you, generally a disease, do we use the word contacted or contracted? What do we say? Contact. But what is the word here? Contracted. You may think this is not right. But mind you, having contracted, contract, one of the meanings, contact, it goes with diseases. That means what? There is no error here. I hope you are listening carefully. When I read this, I had a doubt. I had to cross-check. Please listen very carefully. The moment I read, I thought there is an error in the, this word is not correct. Because my knowledge, my awareness, as far as I got exposed to the language, contact. I have never come across contracted a disease. Never. So I had a doubt. Perhaps not registered. When I cross-checked, it is right. I came to know this expression is absolutely right. Contracted something. Then the second doubt you may get, I also got, coming in contact or coming into contact. Again, I had to cross-check. Both are absolutely right. You can say after coming in contact, after coming into contact. Both are absolutely right. That means what? There is no other error. So how many of you have chosen the 5th option, no error? Please raise your hands. I appreciate those students, really good. This, the moment you read, you get confused and you think there are 2 errors in the same part. Second part, 2 errors. So you are damn sure there is an error in the second part. But what is the answer? No error whatsoever. Grammatically, contextually, perfect sentence. I appreciate those 2 students. Very good. Is it 90? After the cash-strapped corporation, please underline the expression cash-strapped corporation. Means what? They have a lot of money or they don't have money? No money. Cash-strapped means what? Positive or negative? Negative. expressed its inability, you can understand from the context, inability to provide funds for various developmental works. The office bearers of the civic body started lobbying. Please underline the word lobbying. In the US, lobbying groups are very powerful. They are also known as, please write the expression, pressure groups. They put a lot of pressure on the government. Keeping the interests of the business people in mind, they try to influence the government and bring some policy changes. They make some changes in the policies. In our country also, lobbying was started on a large scale, in the real sense, by Reliance Group, Dhirubhai Ambani. At one stage, you are all young and perhaps you are not born. I'm talking about when he became a popular industrialist, a business magnate, a tycoon. That time, he was very powerful. I'm talking about Dhirubhai Ambani. So he had his own lobbying groups and pressure groups. They would put tremendous pressure on the government. That time, Rajiv Gandhi was the prime minister. In fact, there was a saying that time in the public, though Rajiv Gandhi was a prime minister, the country was being ruled by Dhirubhai Ambani. Every policy was designed, formulated, developed, keeping the interest of this particular business house in mind. They put so much pressure. Everything in favor of all the import policies, export policies, every business policy in favor of Reliance Group. And they would say, once there was a write-up in India Today magazine, the cover picture, Dhirubhai Ambani, the title, Black Magic. He was dark, black magic. Black magic has two meanings. One meaning, it refers to the person. He is dark, black magic, his magic. Another, black magic means what? Religion has two dimensions. One is positive, the other is negative. Negative dimension, we call it black magic. We also use the word or expression, please write sorcery. We also say witchcraft. You know the word witch? Witch? What is the spelling? Please don't look at me like that. Witchcraft. Witch, what is the typical image? An old lady flying on a broomstick. Have you seen that movie, Harry Potter? Harry Potter or some old Telugu movies. An old lady, you all know the word broomstick, but there's a long stick, broomstick. She sits on that and she flies. She does black magic. And we call that lady witch. What is the Telugu word for that? Witch. Have you understood? Then it's okay. So black magic, another expression, witchcraft or sorcery. Now we'll go back to the question, lobbying at special financial aid from state governments. At the outset, you may not be able to spot the error. If you read with a focused mind, you can spot the error. Tell me, where is the error? Fourth part, lobbying, it takes a preposition for, not at. So please correct it. Lobbying, what is the preposition you are supposed to use? For. Lobbying for special financial aid. Who has got all the 5 correct? That's very good. 1 student. 4 correct. That is highly appreciable. Very good. Not the last 10, we started with 71. The next 10 questions, what do they deal with? Close test, everyday context, related to what? Stress, change. The passage talks about how people respond to change. In brief, what is it about? How people respond to change, whether they welcome change or they oppose change. If they oppose change, why do they oppose? What are the reasons behind? In brief, this is it. All words are easy words, should not be a problem. But if you don't understand the context, then it becomes difficult for you to get. I feel this, you should get all the 10 correct. We'll start with the first blank. Experts that whether we view change as positive or negative, there is a certain amount of stress that change. Please put a full stop. Now we'll see the options. Experts agree. Seems right, hold that one. Experts decide. Can they decide about change? No. Settle, is it relevant here? No. Match, relevant? No. Correspond, relevant? No. So what is the answer? Generally we talk about, here the clue for you, please underline the word experts and write a few verbs. First you write experts agree. Second, experts feel. F-E-E-L, feel. Experts say. These are the typical combinations. Experts say, experts feel, experts agree. Now what is the answer here? Which option is that? The first option. Experts agree that whether we view change as positive or negative, there is a certain amount of stress that change, that what? If you use the word comes, that comes with change. Please write the word with. Next time you cannot remember. See, when I give why it is wrong, when I tell what is missing, you should make a note immediately. Otherwise, you cannot remember. Why should we reject the word comes? Because the preposition with is not there. Comes with change. So with is not there, this is not correct. Accompanies change. Here accompanies someone or something. You don't need a preposition. Seems right? Hold that one. Attends, is it relevant here? Not relevant. Make a note, not relevant. Conducts, relevant, not relevant. Assist change. Assist change, does it make any sense? No. Now what is the answer here? Accompanies change. Which option is that? What accompanies change? What accompanies change? The word is there. Are you guys listening? Then you have to respond. Experts agree that whether we view change as positive or negative, there is a certain amount of stress. Stress is a keyword that accompanies change. What accompanies change? Certain amount of stress accompanies change. Sentence is clear. Now the next, more stress means more conflict. We have problems with punctuation. Please, full stop. More stress means more conflict. Most people prefer a predictably. Predictable means what? Expected lines. Expected lines. Predict. You can predict the future, means what? You can tell the future. You can tell what is going to happen. Predictable behavior means expected behavior. Now, predictably, workplace, you have to choose an adjective. Stagnate. What is the word after that? Workplace. Now, what is the meaning of the word stagnate? Stagnate, usually it has a negative connotation. No growth, no progress. Please write the meaning. Stagnation. Generally, we use a noun form, stagnation. Means no progress, no growth. But here we have to use an adjective. What is the adjective form of this word? Stagnated situation. Stagnate is which part of speech is it? A verb. So it is not correct. Mark it wrong. Mark it wrong based on what? Part of speech. Immovable workplace. Workplace, immovable, movable, it doesn't matter. So mark it wrong. Not relevant. Stable. Changing, opposite stable. Every employee prefers a stable workplace. It's common sense. Third option seems right. Hold that one. Normal. Normal has no significance as such. A simple word, and normal workplace, it doesn't carry any weight with it. So don't consider. Substantial workplace. Substantial usually goes with improvement, progress, growth. Please write the combinations. Substantial improvement. Quite often I say, if you read the newspapers, you can see substantial improvement, substantial growth, substantial progress. So not relevant here. Now what is the answer? They prefer what? Most people prefer a predictably stable workplace. Full stop. So naturally people fight. Fight, what is the preposition? Against. You fight against someone or you fight against something. So fight, we don't have to see the options, but still. Fight for change. They don't want change. Can you use for? It is contradictory. Please mark it wrong. Fight without change. Does it make any sense? Fight opposite change. Not correct. Against, perfect. Within change, not relevant. So naturally, people fight against change and they fear change because it presents a to something they value. It presents something to something they value. Present what? It presents what? Is it 96 or 95? It presents a remark. Does the word remark go with this context? No, mark it wrong. Omen. Omen, write the meaning. Something that is positive or negative. Something that is positive or negative, and that happens in future. That happens in future. It's a feeling that something positive is going to happen, or a feeling that something negative is going to happen. Omen. It could be positive or negative. Is it relevant in this context? No. Certainty, not relevant. So it poses what? What is the fourth option here? Threat. Now what is the sentence? People fear, no. And they fear change because it presents a threat to something they value. Sounds right or wrong? It presents a threat. It poses a threat. Write one more combination. Presents, there you write poses. Poses a threat. So answer is threat. Full stop. People fear a number of things. Again, I don't know how you can manage with punctuation problems. People fear a number of things. Full stop. Something, whatever the word, them, job security, or that the change might mean a loss of friends or contacts, the list. Again, full stop. Now we will see the options. Is it 96? With, can you use? From, encompassed. Is it relevant here? Along, no. What is the fifth option? Among them. What is it? Among them. Job security, or that the change might mean a loss of friends or contacts. The list. Before you see the options, you should think it must be the top one. It must be the number one, fear. So what are the options here? Height, principal, capital, cheap, top. Top the list. So what is the answer? Fifth option. They fear their salary may change and not further. This, without seeing the options, generally we say, there is some change, but not for the better. Not for the better. There is some change, but not for the better. A standard expression. Which option uses the word better? The first option is the answer. Worst is not correct. Likely, not at all relevant. Boon or blessing, not relevant in this context. Better. Now what is the next one? They fear they will lose freedom that they may lose or gain responsibility. Comma should be there. They fear they will lose freedom, that they may lose or gain responsibility, that they may lose or gain authority. If working conditions have been good, they fear those conditions will change, and they fear that their own people, their own pride and satisfaction in their job may what? May withdraw, decline, progress, nil, negative. What? Is it such a lengthy sentence? Their own pride and satisfaction in the job may, you have to use which part of speech? A verb, may. Underline the word may. May is what? A helping verb. After the helping verb, you have to use a bare infinitive. Withdraw, can you use that in this context? No. Interest, decline, seems right or wrong? Right combination or wrong combination? Obviously. And progress, it should be positive or negative? Negative. Progress is a positive word. Nil, not a verb. And negative, not relevant. So what is the answer here? Decline. Their own pride and satisfaction in the job may decline, full stop. These fears may be real, or they may be a real. What is opposite? One is assumption, the other is perception. So which option says perception? Assumption, perception. Here it is between the two. This is a very good blank. Please hold the first option, the second option. Concept, concept is not correct. Knowledge, not relevant. Sight, not relevant. Now here, these fears may be real, or they may be a perception due to misunderstanding over what the change will bring or how it will be implemented. I feel better word would be assumption, not perception. But what is the, here, usage point of view, assumption would be better. But please underline the indefinite article a. Then can you use assumption? Then what is the answer? You are left with perception. No, I don't agree. Based on the context, based on the passage, it is perception. But usage point of view, we don't use perception. We use assumption. Please understand what I am trying to say. What is in passage is one thing. What I feel right or wrong, another thing. As far as my knowledge goes, in my opinion, a better word in this context is assumption, not perception. Assumption. Because usually when we talk about management, I worked with the corporate sector. When I was in Bangalore, I was a corporate trainer. I trained employees of blue chip companies in and around Bangalore, big companies like Titan, TVS, big companies, in-house training. We know what terminology goes. In fact, I would design the syllabus, company-based syllabus, tailor-made syllabus. Watch industry, the syllabus is different. Automobile industry, the syllabus is different. So here we talk about employees, management, some terms, employees, certain other terms. Employees usually assume things. So we say assumptions are very dangerous. Don't assume things. We never say don't perceive things. We never say that. Usage point of view, in this context, what is the right word? Assumption. But looking at the context, given context, the indefinite article a, then you cannot use the word assumption. You have to use the word perception. That's it. It's 3:15, and I have been talking continuously. I haven't taken a break. Still had to spend almost an hour and 15 minutes. Now I can't extend. Passage we cannot do. If I get some time, bring the hard copy. We'll spend some time on technology passage, a very useful passage. Because we have got many passages related to banks, but technology, quite often they give questions related to technology. If you spend some time, that will help you in the long run. Shall I stop here? Thank you.